Well, I think we knew we were in for a really great game, and that we had to make adjustments. But you don't see the 1-3-1 zone that they play very often. People will throw it out, and I know firsthand from playing it for like 8 years that it's tough if you don't have a plan and you can't practice it. The biggest thing is having a practice team that understands what they're doing. So we didn't touch on it at all. I've never done that. It's worked out. We worked on Montana. And then yesterday we tried to do it the best we could, but we just had to make it better. So we tried to throw some different looks at them and just play ball out, and then we discovered some tendencies they had out of it and attack those. John, big thing was if we got stops, they were going man on misses. So they go man on misses, then we could attack their man.
John, how much of this win, and especially when you guys were coming out of those droughts to keep the lead intact, was it about going back to the basics and the things that you've been preaching to the guys in every practice all season long?
Well, you're eventually going to score points. You just got to keep getting stops, and that's what we were lead at in the second half. I mean, that was incredible defense. You know, I think they had a banked-in three somewhere along the line, and they made maybe one other way. I mean, we just really guarded. We really extended them and guarded them, and then kept them off the boards. And bigger stat, they shot 2 foul shots. I mean, 2 foul shots. That's really good.
How do you guys do that? Kick it up defensively, like from the first half, and it was incredible in the second half.
Yeah, you know what, Bob? They gave us some screen and roll action that we haven't seen much of. So real high. They lift the side up real high and to tag it and get back to an elite shooter is really hard. And we made a few adjustments with just our ball screen coverage, but it was tough to cover. And that part's tall, so he comes off, leans back, and there's Xavier at 6 feet, and he could see over everybody. So we just tried to change some angles.
Coach, third consecutive Sweet 16. How much did the experience from these runs start to play a factor in your presence?
Well, I think with Xavier and Charles really led us. They've been leading us through this last really week of getting ready for this time. They've been there. So many kids have not been there or had not played significant roles in being here. And those two were just champions. And believe me, we were all salty after our loss last Saturday in the championship, Sunday in the championship game. That was a quick turnaround to travel, to take Monday off. Everybody was upset, and that could have tore us apart. It actually brought us together because of that leadership.
What's it say about the program? 3 straight Sweet 16s, something pretty rare.
That's good. I think if you look at it, I did keep track of some things. That might be 5 in how many years? 5 in 7 years. So it says we got really good kids that really know, and I've had great staffs. That's what it says. And that we got incredible support for our university. You know, the athletic directors. I think there's been probably 3 different athletic directors in those runs too. So we've really been fortunate.
Did you get the saltiness out of you guys' mouths now?
Yeah, I think they're not as salty as they were. We were salty. We were salty to each other. It was like it was very interesting to see how everybody reacted to losing. I mean, you know, how many times you get to play 2 championship games, lose them twice to the same team? That was tough.
Right. Coach, your reaction when Isaiah went up and stuffed it with
2 points. Way to go, man. Get back on defense, guys. Get back.
How big was John Teskey for you? What he was able to do?
Yeah, you know, he didn't have a ton of blocks, but he affected a lot of shots. Allowed us to play one-on-one in the post. That's been a big difference in our team. That's one of our defenses. He's learned how to play without fouling, and that's been a huge thing for us.
John, I remember not that long ago we used to talk about you guys were just getting to the tournament, and then we used to ask you, are you ever going to get to the Sweet 16? You got 5 and 7 3 in a row.
Yeah, I think, and like I said, if we don't win a national championship pretty soon, somebody will probably fire me, so you can't win it. So it's all relative, and it has. If we continue to just have good kids that want to grow in basketball, want to have guys you don't have a lot of maintenance off the court with, it shows you can do a lot of great things with them. So I'm pleased for everything. I know we have so many Michigan fans that basketball is so relevant in their life, alums right now, because of this last decade. It's really neat to see. I expect in Anaheim, a lot of them will show up and support us.
Make sure these moments are embraced just like they were back then. It seems so long now.
By our team, they're certainly embraced, and I held myself back for saying, who are we playing? And then somebody told me, so they spoiled everything.
John, Coach, you beat Montana in the first round. You beat a team from Florida here, now back to Southern California. Is this starting to feel at all kind of like it did last year when you went into the Sweet 16?
No, you know, the way we won that second game last year, the that was the craziest thing I've ever coached in, probably being down by that much. But it was it just feels good to see the sense of the three things. You know, there's a great appreciation for the team. We have a great sense of achievement and a great sense of relief at the same time. That you go into this, we haven't met a 2 seed very often. That game, those are for coaches that have great seeding. We all love it. The upset rules, the news this time of the year. Trying to stay out of those. And while I wouldn't see this as being a big upset, it is good to get through it and move on.
Coach, how big was the second half to start the way you guys did?
Yeah, and I don't think any of it was from some strategy we drew up at halftime. We made a shot. Iggy, we just ran a play, and Iggy had one go in and out and back in, and that was big. And then we ended up getting an and one fast break, or an and one with Jordan Poole, and all of a sudden, a 7 becomes a 13 or 12. Yeah. So it was
13.
It was terrific for us just to come out with those 2 3-point plays to start.
What was your mentality and your attitude going into halftime?
It's always pretty much the same. That we're always thinking, all right, what can we do to adjust, right? What are they doing? What's the easiest way to get a team? I love the 20s. I wouldn't suggest it's a regular thing, but I love the 20 minutes we have that we could then. We could really talk longer, watch some video, and then just sort of, plan a little bit what we wanted to do. But the coaches had some great ideas on some things we could do, and it seemed to work. But it wasn't some great scheming. It was we played better, and we really played good defense.
How critical has Eli been for you?
Yeah, that's been missing all years, having that guard that can take, if a guy's in foul trouble, a guy isn't playing well, that we can give him a rest, let him think about it. So it's really good for Eli. It's good for JP. It's good for Charles. Everybody that we can move JP over and give him some rest.
Was there any chance of Xavier not playing 40 tonight?
Not with those long media timeouts. There was one time they wanted me to go to him, and I thought, and just give him a minute and put Eli in there. And I just said, you know what? We're resting tomorrow. He's such a pit bull. He can play through all that stuff. So those media timeouts are. How much would I take him out for a minute? Right? He gets 2.5 minutes. He's fine.
Coach, so much stock in this sport is put on this event versus a lot of it. Is that fair in your mind?
No, that's the way I've always judged it. That's why I think all our people that have to put up with all our rivals' fans all season long see that Michigan State game as like that's we got to beat Michigan State or it's an unsuccessful season. Well, then you're going to have a lot of unsuccessful seasons because they're really good every year, and some years you're going to beat them, some years not. We should be measured by a lot of things. This is one of them. Are we competing for the Big Ten? Did we get in the NCAA tournament? And then did we advance in the NCAA tournament? That's my measuring stick and will always be.
Thank you, folks.
Thanks, sir.
All right, thanks, everybody.